Welcome to the Dysfunction Junkies podcast. We may not have seen it all, but we've seen enough. And now, here are your hosts, Chrissy and Carrie.
Hello, junkies. I'm Carrie.
And I'm Chrissy.
We get to talk about the wonderful subject of friendship today. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, it's important for you and I, and important to a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, because our friendships and our friend circles really does affect our lives, whether it's a functional friendship, a dysfunctional friendship, or anything in between.
Right. I think a lot of them are probably dysfunctional. And maybe you guys out there with your friends don't realize it, but it probably is.
And that's probably why they're so great, because we can be dysfunctional with each other.
Yeah. You can be dysfunctional and do dysfunctional things together, which is fun. I don't know. Friendships can be, I don't know. They can just be. I have some people friends outside of just you and I.
Yeah.
But as you get older, and we'll talk about it more, you really, just I think with everything in life as you get older, you really want quality.
Yes.
Over.
Yes.
Anything else.
Yes. You know, it's funny that this is the topic that we're discussing today, because Jim and I just went to dinner the other night with a couple that we have been friends with, and me specifically. So her name is Kelly, and we went out to dinner with her, and Kelly and I have been friends since I was 15 years old. And
how come I don't know Kelly?
Oh,
Do I know Kelly?
You know Kelly.
But I don't think I've ever met a Kelly. Maybe I know of her, but I've never met her. Is that the story?
You might, but you do know who I'm talking about.
I have a feeling I do. Okay, awesome. Hi, Kelly.
So Kelly and I have been friends since I was like 15, and it's one of those friendships that we don't see each other a lot. We don't talk a lot. We don't even text a lot. I mean, there's been literally times where it's been years before we've talked to each other again. But it's one of those awesome friendships that you just pick up right where you left off. And even though you may not be involved in each other's daily lives, you know, especially now with Facebook and everything, you kind of get, you kind of know what's going on, you know, even if you don't talk. But we were out to dinner with her and her husband, and literally it was like almost 4 hours that went by. We're like, we could have sat and talked for another 3 or 4. So I get what you mean by quality. And for me, I think friendships have always been that way. I have my core quality friends, and that is, I'm good with that. I don't need the bunches, you know.
Right.
I was never one of those kids in high school that had the big clique of friends, you know, the big group, the entourage. That's too much work.
It is a lot of work.
I think that's kind of how you guys were until the time you got together to do this podcast. You guys will go a few years apart without, and there was never anything about hard feelings or anything. You guys just
life happening.
Life happening. But that's kind of like similar to your guys' relationship up to the point where you guys started the podcast.
Yeah.
Now you guys have to spend more time together.
It's been fine. With
mandatory love,
may have been
mandatory friendship.
Well, I remember, this is funny, and again, it usually speaks volumes of me. Before we moved here, we lived in a neighborhood where there was just a lot of people all around our age.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was pretty much the same age.
You did.
And they were very close with each other. They had all gone to most of them had gone to the high school in that town that we lived in. And we were from nearby, but not from there. We didn't go to their school.
Right.
So they all knew each other. They were all about the same age. Their kids were all about the same age. I mean, our situation was we weren't from that town, but not far. We didn't go to the schools they went to.
Right.
And we waited to have kids. So it was a lot. But they would get together a lot, and they would sort of congregate on their driveways with a fire pit. And it happened a lot. And
they had a fire pit on their driveway?
Oh, it was quintessential suburbia.
And I remember sometimes we would drive by. Well, we were invited once in a while to the fire pit, and generally I would send Nick to the fire pit. I'd stay home, man the house.
You send him to do the reconnaissance work?
Yeah. Well, because some part of me, it's a little painful to just make senseless
small talk.
Chit chat. Yeah, I'm not good with that, unless you want to get into something heavy and deep or a movie I'm going to reference.
Right.
It's difficult for me to relate. Right. But I would drive by and I'd say, boy, look at all, they just seem so, it seems nice. Look at all that. But then I would sit there and I would think, and I was like, you know what? No, that looks like a goddamn nightmare.
It's a lot of work.
You got a lot of people. You had to flip and find out if they were showing up. Now you got to listen to this many people tell you their bullshit stories. I mean, it looked like a headache. And I had come to the conclusion that, at first I thought, oh, yeah, this looks great. But then I was like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely been one that's always been a believer of that saying that you have people in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And
what the hell?
You've never heard that?
No, that's awesome.
You've never heard that? Get out of here.
No, it wasn't in the movie. I didn't hear it. It wasn't in the movie. Or any movie.
It wasn't like a Gone with the Wind saying or something like that. No.
Somebody. No.
Yeah. A reason, a season, or a lifetime.
That tells me that there are statements out there that are good without being in film. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. One or two. Just one or two.
Right.
I definitely have felt that way. I look back at different relationships and friendships over the years, and there's definitely been those that have been a reason. And, they're very short. They come in, they do their job, they leave. It's great. And then you just kind of never see or hear from them again. Right. But they were there for a specific reason.
Right.
Then you have the seasonal ones, and some seasons last longer than others. And I've definitely had my share of those. But then for me, the most important ones are those lifetime ones. And that's where I have my core group. It's Kelly, it's you, it's Heather, it's Dawn and Karen. And it just that's my core. That's my lifetime core. Yeah, that's really the ones I care about. And those are the ones, like I said earlier, you can go a long time without talking or just sending an emoji or a thumbs up. And, and they're also the ones that out of the blue on your darkest days, you suddenly get a text message from them that says, hey, you were on my mind today, and it's always whenever you were having a really bad day or just really needed someone to touch base, and they felt that energy and they reached out to you. So
yeah, no, those are definitely, I like the reason, season, lifetime. That's awesome. Kind of when I was researching this, I went back to the
about
beginning.
Your research.
Yeah, my research is so detailed.
In the beginning, when Adam and Eve were in the garden, who was their friend?
So I just looked at when we were really little, I had a couple of friends when I was 4 years old, neighborhood girls that I was friends with. And when you're that little, they were both a little older than me. So you kind of just latched onto them and they probably hung out with you, even though when you're 4, they're 6 or whatever. It's not like they're doing things that are that much different than what you're doing.
Right.
But there's still a little bit of age difference. So you kind of latch on to these people. And as we discussed in that one show that we did where we talked about the dysfunction of having some friends in the neighborhood, your neighbors.
Yeah.
And
the family you didn't get to choose.
It's like family. Right. You don't choose them.
Yeah.
They're there and that's who you're friends with.
You're forced to live around.
Whether you like them or you don't like them. But so I had a couple of friends like that and they were older. But I remember the one that was friendly with me. She was real spoiled. Believe it or not, more than me, if that's possible. Oh, yeah.
No.
Way more spoiled than me. And if you didn't...
She had 2 TVs in her room?
No, she was always had the best clothes. And she just had a lot of attention from her mom and her grandparents. Her parents were divorced and she lived with her mom at her grandparents' house. So I remember when she would want to see something, if I got a new toy or something, and she wanted to see it. And sometimes when you're a kid, I don't want you to touch my toy. Don't touch my new toy.
Right.
And I remember she would say this line. It's still in my head. It's like, if you don't let me see it, I'll go home. And when you're little, that's like, oh, you're going to leave now? So then you have to give in.
She blackmailed you with her presence.
Yeah, and it was that same tone all the time. I'll go home. I swear, I'm not even exaggerating. That's like how it sounded. And you're like, oh, okay. And she was also the type of friend that, and I think when you're little like that too, maybe you've had this experience, you can really only function at level with two people. Once you introduce a third party into that, it turns into 2 against 1 in some way.
Yeah.
And it's just 2 gang up on the one. And I was always the one that kind of got ganged up. I didn't usually.
No way.
No, I really was. Yeah. In this scenario, because she was a little older. Yeah. So her friends were a little older. And what are you looking at?
Nick's hovering.
I don't want to come off sexist. This always seems to be like more of a girl thing to me when there's a third. Because that was never my experience with boys.
Well, yeah, it's possible, but maybe you just didn't have that kind of dynamics going on.
I do think there's some truth in that. I do.
I don't mean to be
because
sexist,
I could be in a group of friends that were guys in multiples and it was fine. But yeah, as soon as you have a second girl in there, yeah, I could see where that happens. I think that could be on the true side. Yeah.
Well, and it was always a nightmare. And then I don't even know how you come back to them after that, because sometimes it could get vicious.
I was so much bullied, and we mentioned about this before too. I was bullied so much as a kid that, sometimes I look back and go, was I really their friend, or was I just their comedy point for the day, or their, like they kept me around, but they abused me, you know what I mean? And,
right.
And I didn't have a lot of choices. So, I either sucked it up or I was delusional in thinking that some of them actually were friends, but they probably really.
Well, again, especially when you're really young.
Yeah.
The choices are first of all, where are you going?
Exactly.
You can't get anywhere.
No.
You're totally stuck in the neighborhood with these rotten kids. And then, you kind of just want to have a good time and do kid things. Right. So your, I guess, level of willingness to
But see, that's where you and I difference, though, because you had kids in your neighborhood. I didn't. I had senior citizens and dead people.
Those are probably the better choice, aren't they, at that point?
I mean, seriously, we had a ghost in the house and we had 2 cemeteries on the street I lived in. And other than that, it was, it wasn't until I was old enough to ride a bike and had a horse that I went around the corner up the street a half a mile that I found kid. My friends were.
Well, when would you say, how old were you when you felt like you had a buddy? Like, you don't have to say best friend, but like you buddied around with somebody on a regular basis. How old were you?
So I had a good friend in like 3rd through 6th grade. And then
prior to that, though, you don't have like little friends that you remember?
No, because there wasn't any.
But
there
even like
none.
Mom or dad's buddies or friends that they hang out with, they had kids your age or?
No, because remember, like you, my parents were older. I had siblings that were older, but then I came around 8 years later. So I think like you mentioned before with your parents, that time had passed. So your parents' friends, their kids were already kind of grown up.
Right.
So, and then my parents didn't have friends that they hung out with.
Yeah. No.
So I was forced. So where my neighborhood, where you had the neighborhood kids, I had the kids in the classroom. You know what I mean? I didn't have kids in the neighborhood to hang out. I only had the friends were my friends at grade school that I was forced to hang out with because they were in my same class.
So you had a friend then, you're saying?
So from 3rd to 6th grade, I had a friend and we were pretty good friends, but I definitely was, she was the popular one and I was just the tag along. Then we had tryouts for cheerleading and I made it and she didn't.
Oh boy.
And that ended the friendship.
Aw.
So because she couldn't take that she didn't get it, and she was the popular one, the pretty one, so then I had a different friend for 7th and 8th grade, and then when we went to high school we went to different grades or high schools, so then that ended that, and then me and you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, school friends prior to high school and you and I were really, especially in grade school, the kids are fickle.
Yes.
I remember basically having a new best friend every year. And then like the next year, it's such a weird dynamic because then it felt like the next year, it's almost like you didn't even know each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the person you hated the year before was now your BFF.
Yeah. It was just, and sometimes I sit back and I wonder what happened to some of these people, I mean, they went to grade school with you.
Yeah.
Now, some of the kids that I went to grade school with, and probably the same for you, ended up going to high school with.
Yeah.
A lot of them dropped off because the majority, at least from my perspective, even though I went to Catholic grade school, there was 3 years I spent in the public school system.
Yeah.
So I didn't see a lot of kids. There was probably a handful that I remembered from grade school that went on to our Catholic high school.
Yeah.
So grade school friends is just crap. That was my experience.
Yep,
I didn't think it was that great. And
no.
Until you and then we had a good time. Now, the girl that used to say, I'll go home, I did end up picking up a relationship with her again.
The all go home girl.
The all go home girl. And again, remember, she was older than me. And so probably like my junior to senior year in high school. And she was already started college, but she was a partier. And I kind of was doing that sort of on my own, but she took it to another level because she was older. Mm-hmm. And she probably got me into a lot of trouble that I probably shouldn't have been in at the age I was in.
Yeah.
But it was amusing. And she had a lot.
And really Chrissy partied. Does like to be entertained.
I do. Mm-hmm. I do appreciate a big old train wreck happening in front of me.
Oh, I thought that's why you married me. Yeah. Because I would entertain you.
You do entertain me. I appreciate that. But unfortunately, this friend, her fun, need to have fun, was deeper than I realized.
Yeah.
You don't notice that. And she had a problem the rest of her life and she ended up passing away.
Oh.
Which is sad. And it kind of bothers you because you remember being little with these people.
Yeah.
And then, they're kind of, you just don't realize how much they maybe struggle. Now, when I was talking about me being sort of, I guess it was kind of bullying when I was little and the neighborhood kids and you could get the third party in there and then they team up on you. As I got older and some of the kids in the neighborhood were younger now, so then I became the older one.
And you became the bully.
I did kind of, yeah.
And
especially for fingers.
Yes,
Natalie,
took a beating.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But to be honest, out of all those neighborhood kids, they were just there.
Yeah.
I did genuinely like Natalie.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I can still reach out to her and we do go back and forth.
Yes.
So I do appreciate that. So Natalie, if you're listening, yes, I did really, really like you. Yes, I pulled your fingernail, made you break your fingernail off your hand and sprained your thumb and embarrassed you sometimes because I was loud and obnoxious. But I did like Natalie.
I don't know how I was able to manage to. You never did those things to me. Like, I don't know what was different that you never subjected me to your abuse other than forcing me to watch horror movies.
Well, no, because by the time I went to junior high, I had some friends in junior high, and junior high was just like, and the freshman year in high school was just an endeavor in immaturity and ridiculous. Like I said, we were sitting in the cafeteria, me and a group of girls, reading the Thornbirds book, but all the dirty parts, and laughing and just being obnoxious. And then my one girlfriend, we read such a horrible part that was so juicy, she lost her mind. She spit chocolate milk everywhere. I mean, so...
and those Thornbirds. Between the movie getting you in trouble with the nuns and the book.
Hey, it was a sign of our times, I guess.
Yes.
But by the time I got to high school, and because I had come into school, a new school, not being there at the beginning like everybody else.
Yeah.
There is a level where you kind of know your place where you need to just sit down and shut up and be quiet. Don't come in guns blaring, because people are going to come at you.
Yes.
I mean, even being quiet and shy, I took some shit because some people thought I was a freshman.
Never use the word quiet and shy thinking of you.
But see, you don't know, but you remember me now. You're not remembering me then.
I remember you then.
Well, with you, I was comfortable.
You were stealthy. I wouldn't say you were quiet and shy. I would say you were stealthy.
I don't know.
Like, you just knew how to, like you said, you knew how to be in your place.
I tried,
Yes, but you were stealthy. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, No, that's okay. Yeah, our friendship was good. Now, going beyond that, now that we're older,
yes.
Well, then you end up getting married, and you're friends with your spouse.
Yes,
and I probably rely heavily on him more than other partners in their relationships do.
Yes,
but I've noticed probably, and especially since we've moved here, it's taken a little while. But some of the friendships we've developed here, especially with people who live in our neighborhood, we have great neighbors here. Yeah. It's nice because we get together. We'll go to lunch or we'll hang out when the weather permits and we have a good time and we talk about, just stuff. But again, it's like you're at the point now, I don't have to be with you every day or know what you did today or are we going to go and do this big event?
Right.
Once in a while you might do something together, but it's not like you have to. The pressure's off. Yes. If you're still having pressure to have to entertain friends or be entertained by friends when you're a certain age, you've got... You're probably miserable in a lot of aspects of your life.
Yes, I would agree. And, that kind of is like along the lines of the reason, the season, the lifetime is there's that phrase that says, you are a reflection of the people you surround yourself with. It's kind of like who you hang out with does affect who you are as a person. So they always say, if you want to better yourself, then you have to better your friend group. If you want to reach this goal, then you need to hang around people that are achieving that goal. Mm-hmm. So, and I've always found that really good because there's been times in my life whenever things maybe weren't kind of going well. And I really had to sit and look at who was I hanging out with. And inevitably, I had to make a change. I had to, really think about who am I hanging out with because I need to change that because this is not going well for me.
Nope, that's very true.
Yeah.
And they do affect that. But so I did do a little bit more research and came up with like some info in the AI, I guess. But they're talking about, this is kind of interesting. When you're a child and you're in adolescence, you have like two sets of friends, which I think this could apply for everybody. Activity friends and identity friends.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. That's very true.
And, so you have shared interests like sports and games.
Right.
And, things that are common in childhood that you get along with and talk about. And then your identity friends, you actually, it's crucial for exploring your identity, belonging, and emotional support.
I think that's what I would call your your soul connections. Like you said, your activity friends, who you hang out with because of whatever you're involved in. Right. So you don't always have a choice on those people.
No.
But your identity friends, those are your people that connect to your soul, connect to your energy. Yeah, those would be your potential lifelong friends.
Yeah, they have like all kinds of titles for different types of friends. I never really realized this is a thing, but acquaintance, leaf friends, LEAF friends, casual, temporary, present for a specific phase or need.
A season.
Like a passerby or a friend of convenience.
Right, they're a season.
There you go.
They're a seasonal friend.
Hey, there's three here, and your thing is a 3. 3-step. That's interesting. Maintenance friends, branch friends. Stronger connections requiring occasional upkeep, cards, calls, but may not withstand major life changes.
Oh, definitely have had those in my life.
And then you have
lost a friend because, oh my God, I got diagnosed with lupus and it wasn't convenient to her that I had lupus.
Oh, jeez. Sorry to put you out with my problem.
Sorry, I couldn't come and have dinner with you because I was on a boat ride in the sun and it flared my lupus. So I had to cancel dinner. And oh my God, that was the death of a long 20-year friendship.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty bad.
Uh-huh.
And then there's close root friends, deep foundational bonds providing unwavering support through life's toughest moments.
Lifetime.
Like family and other whatever. Whatever. I can't read all that.
That's Chrissy's reading for you.
That's me.
This is why she doesn't like to read.
Yeah, I don't like to read. And I graduated.
She gets 3 words in and is like, whatever.
I have a degree in literature, but I'm just like, I'm already exhausted with this sentence. I'm done.
4 words in.
So I guess you could see after we go through all of this how these can be turned into, dysfunction.
Oh, there's completely. I mean, there's times that you're really good friends. You should be able to be the most dysfunctional person you are, and they're going to be with you. They're going to support you. They're going to tell you, hey, you need to pull up your big girl pants, or they're going to tell you how it is. And, but you're still going to be friends. And yeah, they're the ones that are always there for you. The good, bad, or the indifferent.
You want to hear a bad nightmare of a thing I had to deal with? It wasn't really a friend of mine. So when we were living here.
Was it an acquaintance? Was it
it was acquaintance, I guess. We had a common thing going on with this other couple, and we became friendly with them. And we went to dinner, and we're sitting there talking about stuff. And I probably referenced a TV show or movie, as you know I'm prone to do.
Really?
And the lady said to me, well, it was a very common reference. It was so pop culture. It's like you would have to have been like in a hut or a cave or a rock to not understand what I just said. And I was trying to explain. I'm like, didn't you watch this? How did you not watch this? We're the same age. I don't understand. She's like, well, we didn't watch TV really. In fact, she didn't even say we didn't watch a lot of TV. I think she said we didn't watch TV.
Yeah.
I was spent for the day. I couldn't handle it. And I knew right away.
You could never be friends with that person.
I was like, there's just no way this is going to work. I'm like, you go with the guy when you can. The woman part ain't going to happen. I'll do when I have to. Yeah. But for me to spill out something so common in a reference to pop culture and you don't get it. And then you have the nerve to tell me why. Because you didn't watch, period? Do you know that there is this thing called television that we watch that puts shows on? I'm still devastated over it.
I know the look on your face right now. You're still trying to.
I can't fathom it. I mean, geez, oh man.
So this is going to really probably blow your mind. You know what? Maybe it won't. In the process of this move, we have cut ties with the cable and the satellite TV, not to name any brand names, but so now we only have, the apps or and so I was thinking about you. I was like, I wonder, do you have satellite or cable, or do you just do all apps?
We talk about this all the time because he's always trying to, cut our budget a little bit with all these things that you subscribe to, Netflix and all these other ones. And I have actually gotten to the point because I watch YouTube. So I'm that's the only app. I mean, most of my time is spent just watching that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy some things on Hulu or Netflix. It's nice to have it, but I don't totally rely on it. And I think that if you took it away, I wouldn't miss it so much as long as I still had YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah, no, we have a streaming service that's live TV.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But, they're getting as expensive as the cable.
Well, that's why we cut it. Yeah.
And we don't live close enough to any of the metros to really pull it in without investing in an antenna.
Right.
I can't just buy rabbit ears and pick up Cleveland or Youngstown or Columbus.
Right.
Because that's kind of the three cities that we're just far enough.
You're just far enough in.
Away that we can't pick up them with like a rabbit ears.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about actually going back old school and investing in an antenna on the top of my roof.
This is such
they still do that?
Oh, yeah.
You can still put an antenna on your roof?
I think he's going to be so disappointed in this because I just don't think that technology is there. And he's going to have some obnoxious antenna on my house, Carrie. It's going to look...
Will your HOA let you have that?
Well, it can only be so big, according to the HOA.
There's actually something in their bylaws that talks of an antenna. Boy, I tell you that.
Like a satellite or an antenna can only be so big.
Yeah. And like in our new, that's what she said. In our new HOA.
No, she didn't say that.
In our new HOA that we're moving into, there is rules on that too. And like, it can't be seen from the road. So, but it doesn't matter because we cut the cord. We went. But I will tell you, we have a device. I think I mentioned this before. That it's kind of a little
the black box.
Yeah, the black box. It's a little off market, but you could get all the major stuff on it.
Can you get networks though, like ABC, CBS, and NBC?
Oh yeah, like you can get them from all over the country. So, like for instance, we have when I was programming ours, since we're moving to Utah. But where we're at in Utah is a small town. So like I pulled out so that we can get the Las Vegas, we can get Salt Lake. Like I pulled all these other ones, and there's Youngstown, so we could still watch Youngstown if we wanted to. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll give you the name of the little black box.
Yeah, you might want to. Because, and before anybody out there is thinking that Nick just really wants to be able to get the news and wants to stay informed, I will tell you right now that the reason that this is so important to get stupid rabbit ears or something else is because, and it seems like he only worries about this from like August to February.
Is that like football season?
Yes.
Oh yeah. You can, this little device has all kinds of like football games and stuff. You can get anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Back to friendships and not TV. Of course, maybe the TV was your friends.
It was my friend.
That was your friend.
That was like my first friend ever, and it's been my friend the longest.
You're not invisible friend.
That's true. All my friends are in that box.
In the box, talking to you.
Yes. And I have some of the most prestigious friends there are.
So I guess the takeaway from today is to kind of look at your friend group. Are they reasons, seasons, or lifetime? Or are they a leaf friend? Leaf friend, an identity friend? Are they adding to your dysfunction? Are they
they bring in their own dysfunction to the table?
Are they helping you with your dysfunction?
Yeah.
So
that might be a question you want to ask when you meet people. To what level do you rate your dysfunction? And will you impose that dysfunction on me? Because I ain't got time for it.
Amen to that. All righty. Well, before we wrap up today, I do want to remind everyone that this is the month of January and we are supporting Samaritan's Purse. This is an international organization that helps provide many different types of aid to people throughout the world. They help in times of emergencies, natural disasters. At Christmas time, they do a shoebox providing toys and necessary and needed items to children that are throughout the world. They also provide heart surgeries for children that need special heart surgeries. So they do some amazing things. So I definitely recommend checking them out on our website. Our website is dysfunctionjunkiespodcast.com. And otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.